Hi everybody, welcome to my channel if you're new, and if you're not new, welcome back. Welcome to my law school series. Today I am going to be talking about the law school application process and how to approach the application process and my personal tips on how to make the best of this process. So I have some notes written down, so if I'm looking down, that is just me looking at my notes and making sure that I'm giving you the proper information. So my number one tip is to make a list of the law schools that you are interested in. This means that you need to do research. Yes, you need to go on Google and you need to go search in that little search bar, law schools in America or wherever, and then go to one of those lists of law schools and go ahead and write out your list. Now you should think about like where you want to go to law school, what geographic location would be better for you, and are you willing to travel? Do you want to practice a certain type of law like entertainment law? Like, do you want to go to California or New York? Those are really good locations for entertainment law. But you do want to have an idea of where you want to go to school and what are the locations that you would be interested in going to law school. Once you have done your research of what law schools you want to go to, you should categorize your list into your reach schools. And your reach schools are the schools that they may be a little reach to get into. Maybe your score falls below their median score for the LSAT. Maybe your GPA falls below the median GPA, but you have really strong you have really strong extracurriculars, and or maybe you have a strong LSAT score but not a strong GPA, but really strong extracurriculars and really strong ties to the school. Like, these are like your reach schools. Like, okay, this is kind of a stretch, but I'm still gonna put myself out there and apply and see if I get in. Then you need a list of your realistic schools, like the schools where you realistically have a shot at. Your GPA falls into the median, the range of GPAs that they normally accept. Your LSAT falls into the score of the GPAs of the LSATs that they normally the LSAT score of the students they normally accept. You have great involvements, you have great letters of rec, you have great personal statement. Like, you can realistically see yourself getting in these lists of schools. And then you need to have a list of safety schools. You need to have a list of schools that I know for sure I can get in here. If I apply here, there is a high probability that I will get accepted. It's very likely that I will get accepted if I apply to X, Y, and Z schools. So you need to have a list of reach schools, your realistic schools, and then your safety schools. And I highly recommend doing this. Make sure you apply to safety schools just in case you don't get into the school that you thought you were, because it really just depends on who is applying in that cycle. Whoever is applying sets the bar and sets the tone. So even though they do have like, oh, this is our median LSAT score, this is our median GPA score, sometimes a application cycle could be very competitive. So even though this is their median, a lot of people are applying, so it's just that more competitive for the season that you're applying for. So you want to be mindful of that. My second tip would be to make a checklist of all the documents that you need to turn in for your law school application. There are so many documents that you need to make sure that you include in your application, including your personal statements, sometimes a diversity statement, maybe an addendum if you need to explain a class that you got a bad grade in or a semester that you didn't do so well in, your letters of recommendation, and then what else? Your transcript. So there's just a lot of things. So make sure you have a checklist of all the documents that you need. My third tip would be to edit your resume. If you are about to start the application process, you need to edit your resume. Your resume needs to be on point. There needs to be no typos, no errors, and I highly recommend having other people edit your resume and having multiple people look at it. You want multiple eyes to look at your resume so you can have like the culmination of just the perfect resume. You don't just want one person to look at it or two people, because that's not enough. You know, people have different opinions on things. People see things differently, and it's kind of, in my opinion, I kind of like having like multiple people edit my resume, and then I like take tidbits from this person, take tidbits from this person, and kind of really craft that perfect master resume. And I highly suggest to get people that are in the legal field to edit your resume. If you are in school and you have like a pre-law advisor, that would be a great start. If you're in undergrad, I would highly recommend to reach out to your alum, reach out to people that went to your school that are now in law school, or even if your school has a law school, reach out to those law students and see if they can edit your resume. I highly recommend getting someone in the legal field to edit your resume. However, if for some reason you can't find someone in the legal field, then I would suggest to at least get someone that works in corporate to edit your resume. So even though they're not in the legal field, they will still know they'll still have great tips for how a professional corporate resume should look, and that would be like a great start. My fourth tip for the law school application process is to write your personal statement, your diversity statement, and your addendum. Now, for your personal statement, you really want to tell a story. You really want to stand out. You really want your personal statement to be relevant, because the people that are reading your personal statement read like 1,000, a million of personal statements, and you want to stand out. You have to tell a story. You have to be moving. You have to move them. You have to catch their attention. They're reading so many of these. You can't be boring and tell the same old story and the same old reason why you want to go to law school. No, have a story. Be compelling. Be attention grabbing. Move that person emotionally. Tug at their heartstrings. Like, you really, this is your shot to put it all on the table and to let them know why you want to go to law school and why you deserve to be there. So definitely make sure you grab the reader's attention and tell a story with your personal statement and with your diversity statement, and make sure that you tailor each essay to the law school that you're applying to. Don't just copy and paste what you wrote for one law school to the other law school. You need to tailor it and fit and squeeze in specific tidbits and facts that will make your reasoning on why you want to go to law school personal to that law school, and really tell them why you are attracted to that law school in particular. What does that law school stand for? What are their morals? What's their mission? Are they a service-based law school? Is their mission to serve? Is their mission to, provide or produce the best litigators? Or, every law school has unique things about that law school that they stand for and that makes them them. So you want to make sure that you research that law school and capture the unique things and tie it into your personal statement in some way. My fifth tip for the application process would be to ask for recommendations. When you ask for recommendations, you want to ask well in advance, because you want to give that person more than enough time to write that letter of recommendation so that it can be thoughtful, so that it can be intentional and be well written. So you want to give as much time as possible. You don't want to be asking for a recommendation a week before and to have that person rushing and stressed. You want to ask well in advance. So start thinking about who you're going to ask for your letter of recommendations from. Also, the person that you ask should be someone that you have a good relationship with so that they can write a good recommendation for you. You don't want to ask someone that you don't really have a good relationship with, or someone that really can't speak to your good character and why you would be great for law school, because that's going to show up in the letter. Even if they, try to write a letter and try to fake it, it's gonna show up. If they truly don't believe in you, or they truly don't know you and your characteristics and why you are great for law school, why you would be a great addition to that law school, then it's just not going to come through in the recommendation. So make sure you're asking someone that can really vouch for you and that can really write you a good recommendation, and make sure you give them enough time. My sixth tip is to make sure that you request your transcript. So you do need a transcript to apply to law school, your undergrad transcript. So make sure that you request that. Make sure that if you're a couple years out of school, that you don't have any outstanding balances on your account with your undergrad, so that you can provide your official transcript for your law school application. Number 7 is to sign up for LSAC. So LSAC is a website that connects you to all the law schools, and they have the uniform law school application. So you definitely want to make sure that you sign up for LSAC, because it is really, really helpful, and it really helps to streamline the law school application process. So I highly recommend you do that. My 8th tip is that if you are still in college or undergrad, I highly suggest that you see if your school has a pre-law advisor, and definitely consult with your pre-law advisor and tell them where you are in the process and what you're thinking about, what schools you're thinking about applying to, and just ask them for advice throughout the process. Ask them, what should you be doing? What does a timeline look like? And ask them for study tips, or to connect you with study partners. Really utilize your resources at your college and your undergrad, because you need all the help you can get. It's so helpful to get advice and help from people that are at your disposal, because you want to get multiple perspectives, and you want to get advice from different people to really get a bigger, more complete picture of what you can be doing to set yourself up for success and put yourself in a better position. So the 9th tip that I have is to make sure that you apply to law schools as early as possible, because seats can fill up quickly, as a lot of schools accept applications on a rolling basis. So normally, once the application period opens and they start accepting applications, it's kind of just whoever gets it in first, okay, they're reviewing your application. And what you don't want to happen is for them to get so many applications before yours, and then they find, let's say that they're accepting 300 people, and they find their 300 people, they're like, wow, I think we have a great group of 300 people. Well, if you apply late, then they might already find the number of people that they have before you even apply. So this is not to necessarily rush your application if you don't have all your materials. You want to work hard on all your materials, on your personal statement, your letter of recommendations, and everything. You want to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row, and you really do want to put in that effort and that time. However, try to work on it as early as possible, and finish your application process as early as possible, so that you can be one of those first people for them to look over your application. You don't have to be the first, but you want to be in the earlier half of the application pool, so that you don't get left behind. And a bonus tip that I have would be to really just reach out to people that are lawyers that are in the legal field or that's in law school, because they can help you throughout this process. Don't be afraid to email somebody, cold call somebody, get someone's information, tell people that you're in the law school process, reach out to them on social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, reach out to people that you know are in law school or are lawyers and ask for advice. Ask for whatever you're struggling with, whatever you're unsure about. Reach out to people and ask for help. Closed mouths don't get fed. And if this is something you want, then you're gonna have to put yourself out there to get the help and the necessary resources that you need so that you can be successful and to put yourself in a better position. Those are my tips on the law school application process. I'm picturing you guys as like my little sisters and my little brothers, and I just want you guys to succeed and be great. I want you guys to have a smooth application process, a smooth legal journey, and I'm telling you guys this so you guys don't make the mistakes that I made, and so that you guys can be greater, bigger, and better than me and, you know, the people that are here now. I want everyone to succeed. So I hope these tips really help you, and leave a comment down below if you have any questions or concerns, or if you really enjoyed the video or if it was helpful. And thank you so much for watching.